Hi, it's Diane from Above and Beyond Creative Sewing. Today I'm going to show you how to put a quilted border on your quilt. So I have here a little wall hanging that I'm going to do, okay, and I'm going to show you how to quilt the borders using your Baby Lock Solaris. So over here on my Baby Lock Solaris, I'm going to go into embroidery, and we do have a function here, the quilting feature, okay? So we're just going to click there. And I decided that I wanted to use the design number 5. I'm going to click there and I'm going to set it into my work area. Now here, it's a kind of a type of split. Do I want to do a full like big quilt block, or do I want a border? And I do want to choose the border, so we're going to go ahead and choose that. Now on this page, we have to put in the size of our actual wall hanging. So you're going to just do is take a tape measure, and we need to measure from for the width first, and it's about 20 inches here from side to side. Okay, so I'm going to come back on my machine. I'm going to type in 20 with the decimal, and I'm going to set that in. Now the number 2 tells me it needs the length, so I'm going to go back over to my wall hanging, and I'm going to measure my design going from up and down, and that measures about 20 inches. So I'm going to come back over here on the machine and type in 20 with the decimal, of course, and hit set. Now the third box is the actual size of your outside border. So in this case, I know that I made this my border about 3.5. Okay, that's what it measures out. So I'm going to type in 3.50 because that's my measurement there, and I'm going to hit set. And I'm going to tell my what hoop to use. I didn't want to really use the biggest hoop for this project, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller. So I decided to use the 8x12 hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Here's my memory, so it wants me to do 12 hoopings. I'm going to go ahead and put it into memory and say okay. Okay, so over here, now the memory goes to your machine. I'm going to go ahead and choose that design. And with the Solaris, it does it automatically, but it groups everything as a whole, but then it gives you all the individual pieces as well. So we're going to go ahead and grab the full grouped section of it. We're going to hit set. And now we are ready to start. Now here, this screen is letting me know that I need to hoop my wall hanging, and we need to start in the upper right corner of the hoop. So as you can see, I had already hooped it to save some time here. So all I need to do now is I'm going to slide it onto my unit and my on my bed of my machine of the Solaris. Okay, I do have my machine set up for thread already, and I have my embroidery foot on, so I am literally ready to go with the ready to stitch out here. So now we're back on the screen here. We're just going to go ahead and hit OK. And this message is letting me know because I put the hoop on, it's registering this hoop. So we're going to go ahead and say OK. And it's letting me know that I need to move the pattern towards the upper right side of the Solaris. Now, if you know, at least with the Solaris or a Baby Lock, all designs come in center. So that's just giving me a little message that I need to move this design. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And on this page, so right now this design's sitting here centered. So I'm going to come onto my screen here. These sections down here towards the bottom moves the green. Can you see the little green plus sign here? So I can walk it around, okay, and see now it's here. So now it actually moved my design. If you can see, it's a very light green because the design is green. But I physically need to move this. So I'm going to go ahead and move this design on the screen. So I know that this design kind of needs to go towards the upper right corner of my hoop, okay? So here, if you look down, you can actually see here that I'm kind of off base here because I'm sitting on the stabilizer. I don't know if you can see the lines here, okay? So I need to move it down just a little bit. So what I'm going to start here is I'm going to click down here first, and I'm going to move the corner to where the two borders meet, okay? So you see here the plus sign is here, but then when I come back onto the into my hoop area, you can actually see where the needle is. I need to get the needle to this point here. So that's a little, so we just got to move it from here to here. So I'm gonna come back to my screen and I'm just gonna slide, hit and hold until I can get that point. And I'm looking at the machine right now. It's a little bit of, so I think I'm there, okay? And then I'm gonna quickly take another look here, okay? So on the screen here, I'm gonna move this little plus sign back up to the right corner because I wanna just see where my design's gonna sit here. Ah, look how much nicer that looks now, okay? I'm off the batting. It looks really good there, okay? Now you can jump around and see more of the design. So I'm gonna scoot down and see here. So that's actually positioned pretty well here in my, on my border here. Let's scoot over to the upper left corner here. You can see how it's sitting here, and it looks like I'm pretty much lined up with this area here, okay? We can go jump down one more time down here. Okay, with the bottom right, it's really hard to tell, but the green is lined up in between the border of the red and the border of the blue, okay? If you needed to rotate at this point, once you hit OK, the machine thinks that I'm okay and I'm ready to stitch. However, if you wanted to rotate, here's your rotation here. If you click that, now I'm able to fine tune where I needed to go, whether I want to rotate 10 degrees, 1 degree, or 0.1 of a degree, okay? But we're actually okay where this design is, so I'm just gonna click OK, and I'm gonna start my start button, and we're gonna stitch out the first design. Okay, so now the machine's telling me that the embroidery is finished and it's okay to connect to the next pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK, okay? So now it's letting me know, because I'm ready, I don't have to rehoop right now. It's letting me know that I have enough room to put the next design in. So technically it would be hooping number 2, or design number 2, okay? So here it's letting me know that I need to use a rotation here to fit it into my border. So once I hit OK, we're gonna take a look here. Now remember, down here is where we find our design here. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this button here just to get me to the top of the design, okay? Now when we come over here onto the screen here, I need to connect it in, okay? And it looks like I just need to move this, let me just go to the left a little bit, just want to see where we're at here, okay? And come down just a little bit. So I'm just kind of taking my measurements here because I don't want my design to be in the red area. You see, I'm coming kind of close to my red here. So I'm going to scoot over to the right side of where the hoop is going. So I think I can, let me just double check up here. I think I'm going to kind of scoot it over to the right, ever so slightly, just one notch, and I think that's a little better for me, okay? So I'm not so close to the red border, okay? So as you can see, where I'm going to line up, which is right where I need to be, where those two are going to line up together, okay? So we're going to go ahead and say okay here, and we're going to stitch this out as well, okay? I am so super excited. So I don't know if you can see this, but look how great that's starting to look. And look up here, I've totally matched it perfectly. Can you see that points there? Really good, okay? Look how great that's starting to look, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rehoop and do the bottom part of the wall hanging. I'm gonna finish this up and I'll catch you on the next, towards the end. Thanks. Of the machine, it's letting me know that I need to rehoop. I'm in the bottom right corner of my wall hanging, and the machine knows I'm in the bottom right corner of my wall hanging. So it's actually telling me to unhoop and rotate this wall hanging 90 degrees. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lift up that top of the hoop, and I'm gonna rotate literally 90 degrees, okay? And so if you think about it, what we just did, I'm back up to an upper right corner here. So I'm gonna go ahead and rehoop this and keep continuing to quilt my, my hanging here. So I'll see you in a few. Hi, I'm back again. So if you notice, I'm ready to go. I have one more piece to connect into my border here. All four corners have been done, and I just have this one section to go. And the way that the Solaris works, that's pretty awesome about it, is that it will connect from the point A to point B. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my screen here. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so I'm just going to move my design into position here. And as you can see, I lined up my first point here to the end of the last hooping that I just did. Okay, then I'm gonna go just say okay here. And I'm gonna go back into rotation here, okay? Now here, okay, if you notice here, let me just get into position here, okay? My leaf is down here now, okay? So all I need to do is rotate that in just ever so slightly, but I also need to shrink it up a little bit, okay? So you have some features here that shrinks it. So if I hit and hold this button, you can actually watch the border being shrunk up. Can you see that? It's kind of getting into position here. I think I'd have to rotate it a little bit more into position. Let me just slip that in. Aha, here you go. See, there's my point here. There's point number one. I don't know if you can see it. And then if I hit, come up to the top, my point is still set up there. So these two icons here can either shrink it or it can make it longer so it connects. The machine's smarter than us, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and hit okay. Going to hit my start button, and we're gonna finish that last piece out. I don't know about you, but I am super excited. So let me take this out, and I can also go in and do that center border too, if I wanted to. So what do you think? There's the finished product. Okay, 12 hoopings to get all the way around. If you can see how the great product, how it went all the way around. And I'll show you the back. Back looks just as great as the front, as you can see, all lined up perfectly. Look how beautiful that is, okay? This feature is available in the upgrade for the Solaris, upgrade number 1 for the Solaris. So if you don't have the first upgrade, you may want to get it to do something like this. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day.